Welcome to this brief presentation about engaging employers and professional bodies in curriculum design. My name is Mark Stubbs and I'm Professor and Head of Learning and Research Technologies at Manchester Metropolitan University. This presentation talks about some of the lessons we've learned on the Supporting Responsive Curricula project here at MMU. This project is a 4-year JISC-funded project to pilot agile, demand-oriented curriculum design processes that promote flexible delivery, enhance learner employability. It's funded very kindly by the JISC under the Curriculum Design and Delivery Programme, and it has the executive level sponsorship of Professor Kevin Bonnet, our Deputy Vice-Chancellor for the Student Experience. The project manager for this project is Peter Bird. The project engages with 3 key elements. We're working closely with employers and professional bodies to understand and articulate their high-level skill needs. We're working closely with course teams to understand where areas of skill aren't being delivered. We do that by mapping those high-level skill needs against the curriculum and to see areas where we need to innovate. We've been taking those innovations forward and trying to signpost opportunity to learners so that they're better able to showcase their talent in ways that employers and professional bodies understand and value. Our first year of activity is focused mainly on benchmarking, so we understand exactly where the institution's at and we can see progress over the 4 years of the project, and establishing the groundwork for some pilots. A detailed look at our quality and course design and approval processes has shown them to be incredibly robust. Whether we're approving new programs or making changes to existing ones, we have a very solid but paper-intensive process for doing that. That process is oriented around whole programs and awards typically. What we find, however, is if we need to move quickly in response, for instance, to an employer's needs to reskill, then these processes can be a little cumbersome, and there's an opportunity for them to be more agile. This immediately begs some questions. Is it that employer needs and timeframes need something different to our standard QA processes? If we do come up with something different, what are the pros and cons of that? Will it be hijacked? Will other people use it to and undermine some of the rigour that we're justly proud of with our existing system? How can we interpret the existing QA protocols to give this kind of greater responsiveness? It's interesting to see there's going to be a conference exploring this early in December, and that actually these themes have run across a number of the JISC projects in this area. Our focus groups have also told us some interesting things about the whole notion of responsiveness. There seems to be a strong consensus that it's around listening and acting in time, working in dialogue mode, developing systems that can enable and empower staff, students and employers so that they have a better voice within the curriculum design process, and that effort is reused. If data goes in, it can be going once and be reused for other purposes. Hopefully this will also enable more effort to go into ongoing enhancement and the assembly of credit. This also makes us think about working across ownership boundaries and being responsive to something that might not fit the way the institution works at the moment. The good news here at MMU is that our mission to be the university for world-class professionals already gives us some successes. We already have a mature open professional programs framework, we have professional body accreditations and some courses with employers, and we've found that actually thinking in terms of skills development does provide a powerful way of pulling a number of these themes together. We also have a new strategic framework for learning, teaching and assessment, and that also gives us a core basis to build out and take forward a lot of the work that will help SRC. That said, we do have a whole series of questions that we might want to explore within the opportunities provided by the JISC Online Conference. Responsive to whom exactly? And what happens if there isn't a large employer or a well-established professional body? Who speaks then on behalf of the employers or the sectors? Can employers genuinely predict future skill needs better than universities? Could the effort that we put into upfront course approval be better directed towards ongoing improvement, or what are the risks there? And what happens when a sector's needs don't fit the disciplinary boundaries of an institution? And does this agenda leave certain subjects behind? Does it mean that universities will become factories just simply producing knowledge workers, or is there something special and different that could be achieved to the creative good of all? We're also learning some interesting things from our pilots. We're starting to see that one size doesn't fit all, that students genuinely need some help to showcase their talents in ways that employers understand, and that in some disciplines there's a good framework for building out from, and that they're well-established reflective practitioners. We're seeing actually though that employers can engage in many and varied ways. We see sometimes that competencies and skills are used interchangeably, but at other parts of the institution they mean very, very different things and cannot be used in that way. We notice some commonalities in terms of dealing with multiple professional bodies, and that it can be tricky and cumbersome, and there's certainly ways that technology might be able to help in that regard. But it also raises some questions. Is skill mapping really the right way to go? And if we do go down that route, is it good enough to tag just assessment activities with the skills likely to be demonstrated, or do we need to go further to give learners a hand? If learners are able to tag evidence of their ability, is there something we can do to help them reuse that so that it's more effective for job applications and professional body membership applications? But is an institutional e-portfolio really the right way to go when we're hearing that different disciplines have very, very different needs for the ways that people should showcase their ability? So what are the right ways to bring employers and learners together? We've had a go at some, and we'd be very, very keen to share what we've learnt with others. And we've heard a lot about this need for a sort of core information source to inform and enable. But how would it work, and what sort of benefit would it really bring to this employer engagement agenda? So, there are a number of questions there that we'd be very keen to take forward on the JISC Online Conference. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this presentation about engaging employers and professional bodies in curriculum design. My name's Mark Stubbs, and thank you for listening.